Welcome to season 2, episode 1 of the Burner Syndicate. You are now listening to the realest podcast out here. New era, new voices, same authenticity. I'm your host, Jay Fudge. Welcome back to the show. We took a small 2-week hiatus. If it was even 2 weeks, it's like a week and a half. But we're back as promised with the fresh and brand new logo. Once again, I don't want to alienate any of the Burner Talk listeners. As I said, the same show, same topics, same host, just an expansion of the brand and expansion of ideas, basically. So we've officially changed the logo on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and other streaming platforms to the red and black Burner Syndicate logo with the crown up top. So social medias will get changed soon as well. And shout out to Alex for taking the time to get that made as well. But yeah, hope y'all enjoy the new logo. And I really enjoy the way it looks with the 3 and the B, if y'all can't tell, but that signifies the 3 of us on the show and starting this Burner Syndicate journey. So let's keep it going. And Alex, JV, my guys, before we get to today's guest, let the people know how you're feeling today.
Feeling good and glad to be back. And felt weird not having it for the week and a half we were off, so I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, same. I'm glad to be back, man. Glad to be doing something.
Glad to be doing something.
Yeah.
You bored?
Hell yeah, I was bored.
He needs the Burner Syndicate to survive.
Yeah.
All right. But hopefully the listeners feel the same way. But yeah, we have a very special guest today. He needs no introduction. Making his very first appearance on the Burner Syndicate, long overdue. My dad, the OG ETSU legend, Johnson City legend, Mr. Derek Fudge. Welcome to the show.
What's up, guys? Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Small clap in the mic. Small clap in the mic.
Much love, fellas. Much love.
But yeah, how'd it go trying to get on the Zoom? Because I know the old heads struggling with the technology. You made it on fine?
Well, you know, your daughter helped me out here. I had her bring the laptop over 2 hours early to make sure I'm on time. So we here, baby. We in the building. We know the OGs. We don't mess with technology.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because you remember Vince Royale, the comedian? Yeah, when he came on the show, he had to get his wife to fix everything up. He's like, honey, what's going on? What's going on? So it took like 30 minutes for us to get the show started. I know the old heads be struggling, but glad you can make it on. Glad you can make it on.
For sure. I'm glad I can be here. I'm glad that y'all doing big things as rising African-American men. So, you know, y'all kind of remind me of myself when I was, 19, 20s grinding, trying to figure out what I want to do in my life. And I know one thing I want to be was a businessman. So guys, continue to keep God first and push. You know, like I train my athletes, there's in your vocabulary, can't be the word can't. Can't be in there. If it is, you get it out your vocabulary. Win, baby. All we do is win, baby. DJ Khaled. Let's win. Get it. Let's get it.
Yeah, that's the goal with this.
Yes.
Let's go with this with the Burner Syndicate, the rebrand. And, you know, we talked about it at Alex's house, just around the campfire, like it was an idea we started up. So I'm just glad they're along for the journey. And Alex can explain a little bit of it with the whole Burner Syndicate idea, like how it came together.
Yeah, just start off one day, just us talking about the future kind of goals. Us wanting to get our voices out there, kind of have an outlet just to talk with each other. Because with Jay moving away, I mean, it was hard to just get up. We'd have to make phone calls or, hop on the game, talk to everybody that way. So this gives us the outlook to still catch up, still always be in touch, talk about the same things we normally would, but on a bigger platform. And we just kind of discussed that one night about the fire. And the next thing you know, I was at your house and we were coming up with a whole business plan, had Javion involved in it. And then next thing you know, now here we are, the whole season down, merch on the way. I mean, I think it's gone pretty good, pretty successful from where it started. So,
yeah, it was in that room right there on your pool table.
Yes, sir. The foundation was laid. Yes. Absolutely.
But yeah, first thing I want to get into is, basically your business and D1, like, and Fudge Fitness. Just talk a little bit about it and promote it.
Well, for one, like I said earlier, that foundation of, of a businessman is first dreaming. My first goal in life was, pursuing the NFL, which I had an opportunity to do that. When I have my testimony and talk to people, I tell my young men, you have doors God has already placed in front of you, and you don't know which door He's going to take you. So my door, early, teens and early 20s was the league. I just knew that door was going to be open for me. Um, and just like Jay said, I was blessed to have athleticism, to be at the highest level, to be recruited by that next level. And when you find out that when you get there, that um, that door that I thought that dream was going to be wasn't that door. I'd tell you a little story, real quick story. My pastor of many years, I was training with the New Orleans Saints back in 2000. And of course, Jay knows this story. I was uh, on the, I would say, I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna say draft list because I have to be careful the way I say this. For the Titans on draft day, I was supposed to be selected 6th round, and I wasn't. So it was a disappointing moment in my life in 2000. Agent calls me up, pack up. I go down to New Orleans for early training camp. Was very successful there until I ran into an injury. But here's what I tell you people: when we focus on the goal, sometimes the goal that we so much focus on sometimes deviates to another path. So my pastor of years came to visit me in New Orleans and told me that, Fudge, I love you to death, but the Lord put on my spirit that the league is not your final destiny. This is not your door that needs to be open. You think it is, but it's not. So me being in the early 20s, I looked at this man and was going, you got to be crazy. I trained all my life to be in this time frame. And you telling me that I don't deserve to be here. Not necessarily don't deserve to be here. I didn't understand what God had in store for me at the other door. So years go by, I got hurt. I played arena football, had success at that. But in the back of my head, I still had visions of working with kids, training athletes. That was what I was dreaming about, but didn't understand the vision at that time. All I knew was the tunnel vision was the NFL, was right here. I didn't understand my blessing was way beyond what I was envisioning. So probably about, 5 to 10 years after I finished playing, I started dipping and dabbling in training, and I remember my wife would tell me she saw a difference in my attitude, my joy, my happiness when I was around athletes. Um, back in 2001 to 2003, when I was still in the league time and retired '04. And I start seeing that door opening up. My pastor told me in New Orleans, when you find that door, you understand what I was talking about when I was visiting you in New Orleans. And when I started training kids, that their vision started opening up wider for me. I started, my happiness, my spirit started coming together at that moment. And I knew what I wanted to do. So uh, started doing some stuff in Johnson City. More orthodox training was so different that people don't believe in what I was doing. Of course, we got the name Fudge. You got Fudge Fitness, such an orthodox name. In my orthodox style of training, people didn't believe what I was doing. People didn't believe that it would set shop up here in Johnson City. I was the first one to bring this type of training to the Tri-Cities, and people doubted me. So that's why I tell you, young gentlemen here, you can't have work, you can't have can't in your vocabulary. And Jay, he knows his dad. I'm a competitor. You tell me no, I'm gonna grind and get it. I'm gonna get it. So when y'all doing this podcast, go get it. If somebody tells you no and it bothers you in your sleep, you should be worried. When people told me no, I laughed. I went to sleep smiling. I'm gonna wake up the next morning and gonna give you that business again the next day. So that's my mentality. So the mentality from '04 on up, I started developing a plan in my head, a business plan, started training athletes at Willow Springs Park in Johnson City for numerous summers free. I developed a foundation of what my training methodology was doing. And once it grew, kind of, speeding forward here, 2012, Fudge Fitness opened up, and going into Fudge Fitness, probably had up to 50 to 100 clients, believing in what my methodology was doing to help them get to the next level. So, from 2012 on now to 2024, Fudge Fitness is one of the popular gyms in Johnson City. Was blessed to put over 400 kids in college from this different methodology philosophy of my flex speed training that became hot. So, going forward again, you got D1 coming into Johnson City. They're the big corporate dog across the country, 127, corporate gyms. They want to test out Fudge Fitness. They find out that Fudge is the man in this area, and God showed me another vision of, what, maybe we need to get this gym and, get it and open up a bigger platform for me. So right now, Fudge Fitness shut down last year, around this time in September. So I've been at D1 for about a year now, growing the business, right now, praying that we get the rest of the space, which is another 12,000 square feet, to where I can have a sports enhancement center where I can enhance not only athleticism, I can enhance athletics, the bodies of the athlete, meaning PT, cryotherapy, military science development. There's so much that I could do. If y'all know me, if I put my finger on something, it's going to be successful. So that's a mindset you guys are going to have to take. So right now, hopefully in the next, I say, a year or two, we'll be another podcast, and you'll be talking to me. We have a big sports enhancement center here in Johnson City. Got athletes coming down from Virginia, Western Carolina, far south is Knoxville. Right now, I got a client coming from Morristown to see Fudge. So that's a blessing. So my blessing wasn't the NFL. My blessing was to give these athletes a platform to build on so they can go to the next level. So this is what I do in my business.
So yeah, let's hope we get to that level too. Like we have a podcast studio, media studio. If it in 2 years, that would be nice. But yeah, me and Alex, we're both alumni of Fudge Fitness. We went there when we were kids. I think, JV, you said your sister goes there. I might be wrong.
Yeah, my sister does.
Lennox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's got that business already, so she knows.
Mhm.
Sure.
But yeah, I was remember. Yeah, we went when we were kids. I think, yeah, me and Alex were in the same class. Now I think about it.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. It's for I couldn't handle it. You were the baseball player. The athleticism skipped a generation, unfortunately. But yeah, that's good to hear though. With D1, I know the whole story. But yeah, I'm glad Alex and JV could hear the story and what motivated you to train kids in the area. And like you said, there's always haters, there's always outside noise, but if you do it, like if that's your passion, then you just got to go for it. And there's something I wanted to bring up. It's completely off topic, but it's Superman, the movie. And this is weird. It's a weird segue, but you'll see what I'm doing in a minute. So Superman, that's your favorite superhero, right? Or the Hulk, one of those, in a way.
You had to put me on the spot, son, with Superman and the Hulk.
One of it's one of them. That's
Well, growing up, we had 3 superheroes really. You had Spider-Man, Superman, and the Hulk. We had the old school shows. So if I really had to be honest here, I had to go with the Hulk because me being an athlete, he possessed the size, the speed and strength to dominate any other force on the planet. Just my mentality. I'm beast mode all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, even right now, them young bucks come up to me, you better get Hulk smash. That's just what it is. That's what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
the Hulk and Superman kind of right there. But if I had to choose one, it probably have to be the Hulk.
But yeah, the reason I brought that up is like you said, that was your motivation to play football. Like when you watch them, it kind of reminds you of yourself.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, very powerful. And we were talking about the new Superman movie a few episodes back, and I was saying I enjoyed it. Alex, what was your thoughts on it again?
I mean, I still thought it was good. I can't hate on it all the way. I thought there were some aspects that I'm waiting to see from a Superman movie. I think we talked about actually seeing Lex Luthor be more than just the biggest instigator in the world. Like I actually want to see him do something. I mean, throwing the dog in there is cool. It makes it corny in some ways, I feel. It took away from the actual Superman aspect. But I thought it had its good moments and its bad, but
And JB, have you seen it yet or no?
No, I haven't. I don't even think I want to see it.
Okay. Well, that goes into the question I'm asking you. So you thought it was trash. I just want a quick breakdown of why you thought that.
Whew. We can
I
have
just,
to make 2 or 3 segments up there talking about Superman the movie. Fun. Me growing up, Superman was always doing his thing. This is the first movie where, uh, you know, for one, the dog saved him in 90% of the movie. Two, Superman getting the business the whole movie. I'm like, hold on, you supposed to motivate me to get up in the morning, work out, and Superman getting bashed the whole time. So when you say super, so in that movie, the super was left. He was just a man in that movie. It was nothing super about him at all. Called him trash man. It wasn't no super at all. The spotlight was the dog. The dog should get the paycheck because yeah, he was terrible. He was trash. I'm sorry. So I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't at all. My best Superman movie was the very first one. Christopher Reeves. That's what I grew up on. And I feel like, when they make a good one, I could, 1 or 2 movies of Superman should be sufficient. You keep adding three, you keep adding four. It's to me, it's just a way of making money. But to really solidify what they should have done, they should have stuck with part 1 and 2, really, with the Superman. That defines Superman. Don't call him Superman. He getting bashed through the movie. That don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? When you ever seen the Hulk get taking L's? He's a Hulk. He gives out L's. He don't
man,
take L's. You know what
Thanos.
I'm saying?
yeah, but
Uh,
to say
Yeah, I'm
Thanos
about
yeah.
to
gave him
say,
the
I'm about to say
biz.
Thanos.
Okay,
Thanos.
Yeah,
maybe
you seen
Thanos.
one.
Maybe Thanos. Okay.
Yeah, so you remember
But the Hulk is
he
one
couldn't do
million,
nothing with Thanos.
and maybe he took one loss. Okay. Superman
Yeah.
may take, but the whole movie, he was getting L's the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to say, brother, should you watch Superman? I would say, uh, save your money and go to Cookout and get a milkshake, dog. That's what I would say. Trash.
That's crazy.
My
Well,
opinion.
I guess still on that DC subject, how'd you feel about Black Adam? We kind of had that debate on the last one.
Black Adam. I'm a big fan of The Rock, correct? Black Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. But like I said, I'm the OG. I think he played the part very well. A lot of action. It's you know. Matter of fact, Jay showed me a book. I think we got him a book for Christmas years ago, and this didn't happen, or maybe I didn't read into it enough because where I was playing sports so much. There's a book of different characters of DC. Now, all these characters are starting to pop out now on the movie, so it's kind of hard for me to really talk about it when all I knew was Spider-Man, Superman, and the Hulk. But if I had to put a fourth one there, and Jay can tell you, he'll laugh about it. When Wonder Woman come out, man, look out! It was in that movie. You know what I'm saying, fellas? We was in that movie there. Wonder Woman was it. That was the movie for me.
Yeah, Gal Gadot.
Yes, sir. So I grew up watching Wonder Woman too. Back when it was black and white. Batman and Robin. You know what I'm saying? Even the first Batman with Michael Keaton. The first and second was fine. After
Mhm.
that, it kind of went down to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Ben Affleck playing, Batman. It just I didn't get that feeling. I didn't get that motivation to put some equipment on, go out and kick your tail the next day watching, Ben Affleck. Michael Keaton.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I want to give somebody the business, but it's so much we could talk about, but yeah, Superman man did not do it for me. But Black Adam, if I had to watch all over again, I'll watch Black Adam 10 more times before I watch the new Superman a second time. That should tell you.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
I thought the new Superman, it was just goofy and corny compared to because you like Man of Steel, right? And Henry Cavill
I
as Superman?
did. It took me 2 times to really get with Henry Cavill. Twice, yeah. Yeah, I can feel him. He's okay.
Okay. So yeah, I prefer him personally. I just thought the new one was goofy, corny. It's more like the comic book feel. But yeah, I wanted your full opinion, got a breakdown on that.
I
But
thought you said you liked it.
I did like it. But I like Man of Steel 10 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
me too.
just yeah, like the action was
Henry
better.
Cavill is just the best.
Yeah, I just like Henry Cavill overall, and I like the OG, the Christopher Reeve, because I grew up watching that one too.
Right.
So, and Brandon Routh was okay too in Superman Returns. But yeah, so now we on to the main topic. Of course, college football is coming up very soon. I think it started already, actually. We
Yeah.
had 2 games yesterday. It was Iowa State and Kansas and somebody else they blew out the water. I don't I don't remember the team. It's 31-7, I believe, was final score. And yeah, we had 2 ranked teams, Iowa State and Kansas State, play yesterday. So
Right.
yeah, I wanted to get into your outlook on Florida State because, as we all know, do I even need to say it?
Oh yeah.
Their record 2-10,
Oh Lord.
You ain't have to
terrible.
do them like that. You ain't got to do them like that.
I do support 2 schools, go Bucks and go Noles. So yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about that.
Well, what's the outlook on Florida State this season?
Well,
What's going on with it?
it's funny, you got these sportscasters that never played the game. They get paid to talk about it. They've never been through the fire, so I sit there and laugh. Um, Now it's really hard to determine what a team's going to be like because of the issues with the portal, because there's no
Hmm.
cohesiveness. Um, when I played, nobody, if you left, you're done. You stayed, and if you didn't start, you worked your tail off. That spring, that summer, to get your butt up to either number 2 or number 3. You didn't just whine and cry. So tell mom and dad I'm going to go in the portal, and then you get to another school, you start crying again, you get in the portal and go again 3 times. That wasn't in my era, so it's kind of hard for me to understand um, why it's in place. I know why it's in place because the money. I felt like the NIL deal was needed to happen even when I played. And I tell my son all the time, just imagine, I had a very blessed career, and with a name of Fudd, do you know how much money I would have made off my name? All the ice cream and cookies and Snickers and
Hershey's.
everything,
Yeah.
Hershey's. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
thinking about writing a letter back to the corporate. Hey, you owe me millions of dollars right now in 2025.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just, but going back, I'll talk about that. I get the questions all the time on Zoom about how should I handle it? But you asked me about Florida State. We got some key pieces that if they gel together with, Thomas Castellanos, which I'm very excited about because when he was at Boston College, he almost beat us last year single-handedly. And at Boston College, he didn't have no athletes. Florida State, he's loaded with athletes. And of course, if you follow somewhat of Florida State, Gus Malzahn was the OC at Auburn when he almost beat Florida State for the national championship in 2013. So I tell people now, Fudge, what do you think about Florida State? All I got to say is if that offense that he had at Auburn can fully rotate successfully at Florida State with more athletes, watch out. Uh, Last year, or no, 2 years ago, when Florida State beat LSU, of course, I got phone calls. Y'all trash, really Fudge, LSU. But I keep saying if we beat LSU, our season will be successful. Alabama's come to tally. That's a hard place to play when that war chant is going, that horse come in and plant that spear. I'm telling you, that business is going to be handed out. We also got Tony White. I love Tony White for years. He was at Syracuse, Nebraska. I don't know what other stops he made, but I've always said he's kind of my DC that I would like to have for Florida State. He's kind of the new school Mickey Andrews back in the heyday of Florida State's power days. So and right now, all the defensive guys loving him right now. I saw some clips of him today. If all that comes together, we'll give Alabama hell. Notice I said we'll give Alabama hell. Did they say we'll win the game? I didn't say that. If
Had to backtrack.
yeah, we can put everything together. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Get that L now. We can get them that L and tally. Now we was in Tuscaloosa. I look at it kind of differently because the first game starting out, we in Tallahassee. Of course, you got the fans, so we can create turnovers. They can keep Castellanos clean. If he can throw the football, and if our O line, if we have a significant play from our O line, I think we have a chance to win. That's not just Florida State. That's any team that plays every Saturday. You play good defense. You know, you turn over free. You protect your quarterback. You know, your special teams play is wonderful. Everybody has a chance to win. So we'll see, fellas. So, but if we do get that dub, oh, put me back on the pooter because I'm talking. You know what? Cash. Oh yeah, it's going down. It's going
Yeah.
down, baby.
See, Jay and JV disagree with me, but I got FSU winning that game still. That's still who I got in my parlay. I still think it happens. And you're in Tallahassee, like you said, everything's new. It's a whole new start for y'all too. I think it happens. That's just me though.
It is, but you got you could have like last year, the 2-10 season. DJ Ungale, how the heck you say his name? Gonna find out he wasn't a great fit for the locker room. So here's the thing that I think and possess in my head today. When you have great players come together, can they play together as a unit? That's the thing. You know, we won't know that until the Alabama game. If all the guys they got now are in love with the system, they're loving Florida State, or they're just for the money. We need the old school mentality. We come to play football. I ain't worried about the money. I'm coming here to win a natty. If we get key pieces on both sides doing that in the special teams, for this first game, and Alex, like you said, you never know, dog. We can light up and tell. I'm telling you, it's a hard place to play down there. It's a hard place. You got
Exactly.
85,000 at war check going on. So, it could go either way. Right now, they could think they got us what, -14, Alabama, I guess. So, that's just talk. So we'll see. Gotta play the game.
Yeah, it's ironic because Alex is a Miami fan.
Oh God. Hey. Oh, you let this man in my house, Jay? Oh
Oh
man.
Lord.
We had all
Oh,
the Floridas in the house.
The Tennessees, the Balls.
oh,
I can't stand them.
oh.
Well, that's one thing we can all agree on.
Yeah, that ugly orange. No, you'll never catch me in it.
Uh, no, sir. Sir. My
Like,
my roommates from the AFL, oh gosh, which I love them to death. My roommate was Toby Champion. He was the center for Peyton Manning back in the 90s. So I understood the dominance of Tennessee. I was blessed to play with Fred White. He was their safety the year they won in '98. Um, Roger Alexander was the backup for what's his name, the DN that played it. Oh shoot, he's from Asheville. Oh God, Leonard Little. Leonard Little. He backed up Leonard Little. Ed White was another defensive end for Tennessee, and also I played with one of the top wide receivers. Um, he's out of North Carolina. I'm trying to think of all these names, guys. I'm sorry, it's been so long ago. Bobby, what's Bobby's last name? Oh gosh, but he was one of the wide receivers that played at U2. So I was around five greats at UT, and then to sit there and listen to the stories, man, was wonderful. So even when I played at ETSU, I was so tired of hearing about UT that in our power days, I wanted to play UT so bad. Oh my God, I want to play him so bad. I got so tired of Rocky Top. I got tired of people singing it. You know what I'm saying? So we did get to play in Miami, which I'm pretty sure Jay told you that. So had an opportunity to go to Miami, get my business for a little while. But Tennessee, I wanted so bad. Oh, I got tired of the orange. But going to that, people asking for why you hate Tennessee so much when you up here in Johnson City. And a lot of people don't know this, and at the time, I think it was 95, 90, no, actually 90, 95, 90, actually 96 season, we were doing very well. At one point, we were undefeated. When you have a school and you're supposed to be supportive of your college, they're undefeated, and UT plays at home, ETSU playing at home, everybody leaves Johnson City, goes to Knoxville. That's what bothered me so much about UT. And y'all
Right.
keep shaking your head. We were doing so well. You had an opportunity to come here and support a winning team, and you would go to Knoxville. And then for the people that couldn't go to Knoxville, they'll be in the mini dome wearing UT stuff. And I would look and go, dude, really?
That's
You
even
know,
at the tailgates now. You got
yeah,
the
the
UT
tailgates.
tents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, at the
Yeah.
tailgates, you see both the Tennessee flag. So that kind of drives me crazy, dude. So yeah, 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 no, yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Mhm.
but yeah,
You're right. You're right. All Johnson City
100%.
supports is UT.
right.
Yeah. UT and the Cowboys. But it was
I swear, everybody in two delusional mindset teams. Every year is their year, and it's the same thing.
Ooh, you better be careful. Your Uncle Thomas Madison, he watched it. You talking about his Cowboys now. He'll call you, Jay. I'm sorry, Madison. Hey, that's your nephew. Call him. Ain't got to do with the Cowboys. I'm
I
leave
know.
that.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
hoping he hears
supporting
it.
NFL. So yeah, you make it a call from Thomas Madison for sure.
But yeah. And speaking of that, how you said you don't like the NFL, but people ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite NFL team? And JV had asked me when we were preparing for the show, I said he doesn't really like the NFL, just having to deal with the league politics and the favoritism. So, as somebody who's dealt with it, like,
Mhm.
what's your perspective on it? And a good example is like what Shador had to deal with when he fell to the fifth round. So, like, what's your whole perspective on the league and politics?
Well, I'll say this. I'll use me for an example. And of course, son, you know this. Back what I was just saying, back in the 2000 draft, I was on the draft board to go to Tennessee Titans, and then and I very rarely tell people this, but for the podcast, I think everybody should know who I am and why I don't support as much. You worked your tail off all your career to hear your name being called, and so I can go on and support my family and do big things. And that was a blessing to stay in the state of Tennessee, to play for the Titans. We had actually an ETSU alumni named Sidney Damien. I think he was a safety at the time at Tennessee, so it'd been a blessing to go play with him. You know, and after draft goes by, my agent calls me and said, "Man, I just found out your name was on the draft board. It didn't call you." So I'm sitting there going, "Well, why not?" You know what I'm saying? So once again, of course, when I got in the camp with the Saints and everything started going down, I kind of was like, you know what? It's just, but like I said, it goes back to not only political part of it, but the spirit realm and say, hey, Fudge, I didn't want you there anyway. I wanted you over here. So I had to understand the league is for certain people. I think the NFL wasn't just for me at that time. I think the Lord wanted me to be somewhere else. I talk about Peyton Manning all the time. When I tell everybody about the league, uh, I call it a cattle league because what do you do with cattle? You raise cattle, you raise them up to the point where you don't need them. What do you do to them? You butcher them. So the NFL to me is like a cattle league. I use this all the time. Peyton Manning, and I make sure I say this correctly. Peyton Manning was the top quarterback for the Colts for I don't know how many years. His last year when he left the organization, Peyton had a issue with his neck. Um, the powers that be, whoever was the organization was like, you know what? I don't think Peyton's good enough for us to lead us this season to win a Super Bowl. Now, this man's name is all over Indianapolis, Indiana. He's a representation of what a good NFL player should be. But the powers that be, because they think that he's hurt, that Peyton can't do it for us. So Peyton, what happens? Peyton gets released from Indianapolis, and at this time, I wasn't following the NFL. Then when I heard that, I went, "Wow, you do it to Peyton Manning, the man who's doing it the correct way." You know, this man does stuff for children and communities of Indianapolis. His face is everywhere. At least, make him a sponsor or a caveat of bringing other NFL people in the organization. But you just cut this man like this. So what does he do? He goes off to John Elway gives him a call. Hey, y'all don't want Peyton Manning? Bring him to Denver. So y'all fellas know what happens next. He goes to Denver and does what?
Wins in the Super
Yep.
Bowl.
He wins the Super Bowl. So this is why,
against
yeah,
Cam.
Against
yeah,
Cam.
yeah. Went in the next year. I think he went in the first year Peyton went. He won the
It was,
Super Bowl
a,
the first year or the second year.
it was the first or second. I can't remember.
Yeah, but look what I'm saying though. So you mean to tell me this guy telling you he's okay? I'm good. He's a vet. He's an NFL vet. He's a rookie. Now the rookie, I understand you do that to a rookie because you may have an injury. Peyton says, I'm good to go to bring this organization back to where it needs to be. You cut him, he goes to Denver and wins you a Super Bowl. So from then on, I tell people, what do you think about the league? That's trash. Now people in Indianapolis fighting and carrying on, and because you made a bad decision with Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I think about the league, man. It's a cattle league. You know, I hate it for some of these guys. You know, they get in there and they have to spend millions of dollars to take care of their bodies because they're bouncing around different teams. So I kind of glad now to look at it. I was praying so hard to be in it, and no telling hadn't I got in there. These guys are being bamboozled over money and the decision of life, and people around them. You got blood sucking family members. So it's just so much that that goes into it that we don't see. I hear about it, but they don't show on TV. These guys in the league, man, some of them are happy, some of them are not. You know, you can look at many stories on YouTube or biographies of these guys getting there and they're getting beat up and this happened to them, rags and riches. Look at Terrell Owens. This man had millions and now he's damn near homeless. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff that goes on, man. So I thank God, man, I had to be in that. So I'm in a position where I'm the man here and I get to work with kids. I get to teach in the high school and do stuff the right way and don't have that certain stress, man, of that. But it's tough. It's a tough league, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it's all a business. And JV, like kind of relating it back to you, because you're a basketball guy. Like when you put it in terms of like the first example I think of is, D Wade. I'm a big Heat fan. Like everything he did for that city, and what happened, the situation with Pat Riley, like how they had a clashing, but he's basically the man in that city, like Wade County, and they threw him to the side because they didn't want to pay him, and he ended up going to Chicago. So,
Yeah.
like, how do you see that in your perspective?
In my
Yeah.
perspective,
Yeah, you think they'll relate the same way?
I don't know, sort of, kind of. I mean, he said Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning won another Super Bowl. D Wade didn't win another championship or another MVP. And D Wade was kind of like, I ain't gonna say out the league. He was still good, but he wasn't the same flash as he was before. But I can see it though. Him being the, he's the flash. He's the man. He put Miami on the map.
Yeah, so you think it was justified, even though like everything he had done before, like even though he's 33, like out of his prime, you still think it was justified for the front
Not
office
really.
to go about it
No,
that way?
because I wouldn't say, I'd say no because he ended up going back to the team like a year or two later. He's like, you should have
Yeah,
just kept him there.
right, exactly. Yeah, like they're backtracking.
And yeah, and they didn't do nothing. And Miami didn't do nothing in that year or two he was gone. So
Miami ain't done nothing in a while.
Okay, we just went to
I
the
mean,
finals.
they did go to the finals 2 years
We just
ago,
went to the
but
finals 2 years ago. We ain't doing anything this year, but yeah, that's off topic. But
I
yeah,
mean, I got Norman Powell. If that means anything.
we did get Norman Powell, but we lost Jimmy, so it don't matter. But
Yeah, Jimmy was gone regardless. So
but yeah, Alex, you can get into your question about NIL transfer portal.
Yeah, I guess we kind of touched on it briefly.
Mhm.
We kind of had this discussion about we see the pros and the cons of NIL and how it gets mixed up with the transfer portal. And we were kind of putting the situation out. Say you're at a smaller school and you put 2 years in, you're doing great, but small school, small budget. Say maybe they offer you 100,000 to go finish out your career with them, but then you get this big school that comes in. It might be like, I'll give you 500,000. I think And I think we all kind of agreed, yes, there's a big part of loyalty, but at the same time, even like you said, with your future, nothing's promised, nothing's guaranteed. Can you see why they take that extra bump in money? You think that's a pro to it? I see like you're with the pros and cons to it. With that aspect being there, it can be seen as both. I feel he's bettering himself and his family, but also it's like you get into it with the transfer portal, you're bouncing around, chasing money. But is it really at the same time when you never know what your future holds?
Well, like I said before, it goes back to, um, I would say, home training. So what I'll do, everybody has an opinion of this. So I'm gonna put myself in a position to where I was raised. You know, we didn't have a lot. So let's say I was at a small school 2 years and I balled out. And I get a call and say, hey, I'll use a school at home, Gulf Coast Community College. It's a 2-year college, something like Northeast here in Tri-City area. Of course, I don't have a football team. I'm just using it for an example. I ball out for 2 years, lead the league in tackles, whatever. And they come to me and say, hey, Fudge, Florida State is offering $100,000 um, to better your career and possibly go to a league. Um, the first thing that the way I address this is parents need to go back to old school ways. It's an opportunity, yes, but look, here's what we're gonna do. You know, to move forward your career, uh, we need to still look at it as a student athlete. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna make sure our foundation of grades is where we need to be at. We need to still maintain. I guess now I don't know if it's moved up, but when I was playing at 2.5 grade point average, you getting this bread. We still need to be in the front row in the classroom. You still need to do all these things that you need to be doing once you get this money. 'Cause the problem with the NL deals and people transferring is they get this money, school is out at the picture. These young cats that never had anything. What, I'm getting 100 G's? What class? Right? They're buying. It's kind of it's a tough subject to talk about because I've been there. I grew up not having nothing. So you get this money, you getting your mother a house. You're getting your dad the truck he's always wanted. What I'm saying, you're getting your such as this and that and other. But the foundation is once that starts happening, you forget why you going to school. Why are we going to school? So go get your education. Then I get some comment of a fudge. I got the bread now. I can go play football and go to school later. We need to do our data on how many athletes get paid early. They say they're going back to school. How many of those athletes go back to school and get a degree? That's a good topic for y'all coming up. How many people from the NIL deal get money straight up, go to school, or think they're going to school, just going to play football? Because some coaches right now, they don't want to be a part of it. That's why Nick Saban left. They want to build a team and win. The coach's job right now is to get these players in to win. Extra stuff, towards them going to class stuff, they ain't got time to do all that. They got to win now. So that's why the money is evident right now. But it goes back to the parents. Okay, this coach is giving you this. Let's get this idea. If they giving me $100,000 that government, I'm gonna go to class. I'm gonna get this degree. I got the bread. I'm gonna ball out, get the league, invest my money, and do it the right way. We need to go back and teach the kids when they get in this position how to handle this money when it's given to them. Now, as far as 100,000, why does an athlete need that much money to play college football? Why does an athlete need? Why does the quarterback from Tennessee need 8 million? I don't understand the pay scale of that. In that case, why is there an NFL? Because here's the thing. I was talking to another guy about. He said, "Fuck, that's good, man. Think about that. If I'm getting that much money, this is me. If I'm getting 8 million from a college, I'm gonna go ahead. I got 4 years to play football. I'm gonna play football. I'm gonna get my degree. I got 8 mil in the bank. I'm gonna invest. Look, I can retire in 4 years. Think about that. Why am I going to league to beat my body up? I got 8 mil. People go to a league to make money. I got bread. What are we gonna NFL for? And I got 8 mil. I got my degree. I'm done with ball in 4 years. I can retire. I'm on the beach every day chilling. I can invest. At that time, you go to school to develop your in self. What is my in self? Possibly a businessman. I can create a foundation of a business. I can do this. I can create and build. You know what? I'm 23 years old, $8 million, $8 million, a millionaire. I'm 20 something years old. I got my own business. I don't have to worry about the politics of NFL. I don't worry about getting my body beat up. So I think we got to re-educate these athletes that go in and say, look, if you get this money, yeah, the NFL was good, but look, you got this. Why not go to school, invest your money for 4 years or 5 years, get your bachelor, maybe get your master's, invest, and by the time you graduate, you got this. Because if you are letting 8 million, 6 million, 2 million sit in the bank for 3 or 4 or 5 years, how much more money are you gonna have from interest when you graduate? So you gotta
Mm.
re-educate these guys when they get this money, when they graduate, necessarily don't have to be in the NFL to go chase more. That to me is being greedy for me. If I'd have got the opportunity, I wouldn't give a damn about the NFL. Would have been nice. Would have been nice right now. And I've had knee surgeries, I had back surgery. You know what I'm saying? My body been better taken care of for the future. So I think each school should put a cap limit on it. You know, if a player is worth $8 million, I just hadn't really seen one yet come in.
Nico is not.
Nico's not $8 million. I'm sorry.
What do you feel about Bryce Underwood with Michigan? He was committed to LSU for 7 million and chose to commit with Michigan for 12.
Do I see 12 million? Do I see 7 million? Well, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just like I said, let's say if he is worth 12 million. Let's say if he is. Going back to the platform, the foundation I just talked about. I'm gonna go to school, invest that money. I'm gonna be in class every day like a student athlete, do it the right way. When I graduate, I got 12 mil, Alex. What the deal? I got 12 mil. What league? For what?
And only a small
Yeah.
percentage of players make the pro leagues anyway.
And right now, when I was coming up, there's 1% chance you making it. Now it's with trainers like me, evolving athletes more athletically, enhancing them to be in that position. Now it's up to 4 or 5% going. But still, 1% to 5%, that's not a big difference at all. But once again, give me 12 million when I played at ETSU. Best believe I know my mother, she gonna say, you best stay in school. Knowing her, that 12 million be sitting right in the bank. She'll tell me, you ain't gonna touch none of that until you graduate, until you get a degree. If I know my mother today. And that's what most of these parents should do. If you need some of that money to live, take what you need. Because like I said, some of these families and athletes do need a little bit of money. I understand that. But not to go splurge and be crazy with it. Take care of mom and dad, whatever you need to do. Put the rest in the bank and say, hey, I'm gonna let this sit. I need to get me a financial advisor to teach me how to invest in this money. So when I graduate, I have it sitting on deck. What NFL? So basically your skill, they have just paid for your skills early. Not late, but early. So that's why I get upset because I was blessed to, if I'd got that money now, what NFL? If Fudge could have got 12 million playing at ETSU and knowing I had that at the end of my career, and all you had to tell me was, Fudge, you graduate, you got money. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. But now you got kids not going to school. You got kids skipping. You got kids buying these Fiats and these Porsches, driving up with flip doors. I'm over school. You pull up in class. What? You know what I'm saying? Heck, I had to walk to class. You talking about? You know what I'm saying? You buying you gotta look at Shador, for example, which Dion got money, but still, Shador at Colorado, I think Jay helped me here. Shador and Shiloh bought Dion a what? A house for 30 million or something, 20 million in
I'm not
college.
100% sure.
It's something.
Yeah.
Look at the
Yeah.
number. I may be off on that, but we know he bought him a house. They both were playing in Colorado. You bought your dad a house. What? Your job at that time should be focused on your education at the time. Dion got money. He can buy his own house because it's
Yeah.
a gift. So, in ways, it just went too far. So, somebody asked me, how would you do it? I would say you get money based off your performance, your GPA, if you're attending class. A certain coach should give you a certain data, a certain Like for a running back, if you average 100 yards a game, quarterbacks, if you're over 80% defense, you make this certain amount of tackles, your GPA is 3.0, you attend all your classes, you're not late to any meetings, and we give you 5 Gs a month. You know, if you make All-American, All Southern Conference, or whatever extra accolade, we'll put on 10,000. You know what I'm saying?
So like incentives.
Yeah, it should be
Yeah.
yeah, not like I say 12 million, 7 million. You know, that's crazy. Another thing that's ruined our system is boosters. And I get so tired of boosters because you guys, that's one reason why I didn't want to become a football coach in college. My wife was pushing me to become one. Um, you know, let's say Fudge is the head coach at ETSU. I have a great run my first year. I get all my players recruited in the second year, we go trash. You get a call from this booster going, I don't like Fudge. Get him out today. Next thing you know, I'm out of a job because this guy over here that he's a billionaire because he's donating X amount of dollars to the school. He doesn't like me because of the bad year and they get out of there. You know, with this money floating around, these boosters that's taking over the AD, they're not giving coaches time to build their program. And especially now with the NIL deal going on, coaches need more time to build because you got these players doing this right here in and out. They're interchanging. You know what I'm saying? There's no cohesiveness in there. So when the one player leaves, one player's in. How can he build a team? So going back to that Florida State, Alabama, we pray that we have the good pot of guys that have worked with each other from January to now, 5-6 months. Hopefully they have gelled enough to come together as a unit to possibly give Alabama that business this weekend. But it's such a tough business, and I hate it for Nick Saban, because that's why he went out of business. You know, he said it perfectly. When he goes to a recruit's house, the first thing a parent asks is, how much money you gonna give my son? Not what does your school offer my son as far as educational, this, that, and the other. So it's just heartbreaking that you lost one of the best guys, man, in college football due to NIL. But yeah, it's a topic you can talk about all night.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment too. And we have brought up a topic, talk about Travis. Don't want to get into that, but just being smart with money. And yeah, we had that whole topic lined up. But looking at it from a competitive standpoint, like the NIL money and the transfer portal, like these players being interchangeable and stuff. Like imagine if it was in your time, like for example, on Florida, we had ETN, Trevor Etienne. He went to Georgia. That's a rival. We had Jack Pyburn. He's a linebacker. He went to LSU for more money. So I'm saying, imagine like back in your time, if one of your best players went to say Georgia Southern or Marshall. Do you think it helps from like a competitive standpoint in a way?
I don't think it does because, football players, you got to develop a brotherhood for one. If your goal is to win a natty, you got to have the pieces in place to do that. To me, it causes more chaos in the locker room because now you got the question going, well, why he? Why didn't I? So, when all that stuff is going on, it being interchangeable, as you say, let's say if I was balling, this guy, my brother leaves, he goes off somewhere, and I know that year we're about to win something, he goes chasing money. I'm going
to a rival.
To a rival. I'm going, man, we about to win it now. You go off to this. So now I'm frustrated because he left because he got more money, and then I'm better than he is possibly. Then I get no bread. So like I said, man, we could talk about the NIL stuff all day long because it breaks up locker rooms. So going back to what I said about the Florida State, Alabama, if the guys in the locker room can have a little bit of tunnel vision and say, hey, we're here to win one thing and kind of block out who's getting paid the most over here. I just found out Thomas Castellano is getting $800,000 from Florida State. You know what I'm saying? So now his backup, that was there last year, working his tail off to be in a starting position. Glenn Brock was like, look, I was here 2 years when this trash is going on, but you bring this cat in and give him 800,000, and I don't know what he's getting, but he should get something for staying. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of chaos. So it makes a man less competitive because it feel like he's not, his worth is not there. What is my worth? I didn't leave. What about the guys who did stay? They don't get nothing. So it's like, what can you do for me to now? That's the whole mindset of coaches. So that's why coaches hate it, because now they have to dig in a portal to win when they know they got guys that's been performing for them for 2 or 3 years, they've been dedicated to their system, their program, they hadn't left, but they're not good enough to go chase a natty. But they got this guy over here that's 6'6", got a 40-inch vertical, runs a 4.240. We got to get this guy to win it. So this guy that's been busting his tail for you is now being overlooked. You just giving him 5,000, and he's been begging to get 10,000. You get this guy $800,000, so now he's now beefing. So now you ask him now to be competitive. Now he's not. So now he brings the attitude to the locker room now. So now he is now becoming a stain within the locker room, so to speak. And now everybody's getting sour. So now it's kind of like in the coaching world. This coach is doing good here, but he don't get paid this amount. So all this trash is falling into the locker room. So it's kind of hard to say who's competitive. You're not being awarded for being competitive. So I deserve to get paid. Don't get me wrong, but it'll broke my heart because I was the most competitive person on the team. I hated to lose, but I hated to lose because somebody took one of my teammates, because money came and took and broke our chemistry up, so to say. So it is what it is, man. So, but if I could control the NIL, that's the way I would do it. I would go back and do it from a uh, prospective student athlete format. You got to have this. You got to have your grades in order. You got to be in class. This, then you get your incentives. Now, what your incentives are, that's based on that particular school and the boosters, not meaning millions. I don't think no player should get paid no more than 50,000. I think 50,000 should be the most you should get. And if you get paid 50,000, once again, you get paid 50,000 for 4 years, you invest that, you still should live well after college.
Mm-hmm.
But this dad here, this me talking. I don't been through it. It's just, but me, I'm gonna continue to watch college football. It's my favorite thing. It's my heart. But I hate how these guys, are getting treated. Some need the money, some do not need the money, because some of these guys now, which you're not hearing being reported about, sometimes when a guy gets that much money, they actually get ruined. Sometimes money ruins people. It's the root of all evil. You have heard that before. So you get a good athlete, all of a sudden now he works his tail off. He gets all this money, and guess what? He's not the same athlete no more. All his values just went down the drain.
Yeah, I know that one. Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah.
Signed a contract, fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
But JB,
Tough,
do you have any questions, JB?
Yeah, I have one. So Alex told me y'all were a house divided.
No,
I wonder how
ain't
does
no
it,
house about it. I have the house. It's me. It's the house. It's here. Ain't no division here. It's Florida State or bust. Ain't no division here.
oh, so but how does that happen? How does one be a Florida State guy and
No,
another one be a Florida
I'll
guy?
allow him to sleep in my house. That's why I divided. I just divided. I cut out a piece of wall and I divided him so he can go to bed at night. That's why I divided. I allow my wife to sleep in one part of that. It's my house. Don't get that right. It's Florida State house. Ain't nothing divided here. I allow them to come in to one house that is Florida State and ETSU Buccaneers, baby. Tell the truth, Jay. Tell the truth. Tell the boys that. But my bad, Jay. Ask your question. Ain't no house divided.
Yeah,
I
I was
know how it
wondering
works.
how does that happen? How like is there any like outside influence?
Now, what? Of course, I'm cutting up about it, but with Jay, I understand why Jay liked Florida because of the values that Tim Tebow brought. A lot of people don't know Tim Tebow was recruited by Florida State. Bobby Bowden um, didn't want Tebow as a quarterback, and Tebow was like, "I'm not coming. I want to be a quarterback." So, long story short, they wanted Tebow as a fullback at Florida State. Urban Meyer comes in and gives him his opportunity to play quarterback, and look what happens. He just, he's a stand-up guy. If y'all didn't know, Tim Tebow is one of the I won't say owners, but he's one of the stand-up guys that helped run D1. He has a couple of D1 gyms in Florida. So he's one of the ambassadors of some of the corporations. So when Jay liked Florida, I was like, I couldn't argue that. You know what I'm saying? My roommate I played football with, and I'm pretty sure he listens to this podcast. I can't stand him either. He's a Florida fan. You know what I'm saying? So he's from Pensacola, Florida, and that's his uncle, Uncle Terry. Love him to death. But I know why, he liked Florida. But here's how it was at home. How they were asking me, well, Fudge, how you become a Florida State fan? But back in the 80s and 90s, the state of Florida was broke up. You talking about division, Javen, from Pensacola to about Jacksonville, the Panhandle. 90% of those people followed Florida State because the way the state was drawn up. From Jacksonville down to about Orlando, that was your Florida people, your Gators, because you had Gainesville that sit right at the Big Bend of Florida. And of course, anything south of Orlando, that was your U people, your Miami people. So that's kind of what people were raised up in Florida. So now everybody's all crazy, scattered everywhere now. So, but that's the way I grew up. My grandfather, the first time I saw Florida State play was on a black and white TV. 6-inch TV back in Apalachicola, Florida. And I remember, I don't know who they were playing, but Chief Osceola running that doggone stadium. And back then, the guy on the end, he was thick. I mean, his arms was huge, and he was sitting there in shape. The way they do it now is not the way they do it back then. I mean, that horse would stand up at least for, to me, 5 hours. That crowd would go nuts. He playing that spear, and I remember telling my grandfather, that's where I'm playing football at. And I was probably 5 or 6 years old. Just the energy and the attitude, and then that war chant got firing up. Oh man, I said I got to play ball. And back when I was playing football, Florida State was linebacker U at the time. Derek Brooks. I had opportunity to play against a lot of people that went to Florida State when I was in high school. A lot of them went to Florida State, Florida, or Miami. I was blessed to go play at ETSU, but I played amongst the best athletes in Florida at the time. So, but where I grew up at, we were niche to Florida State. Everybody that I grew with, we balled out. We're going to Florida State. That's what it was. We didn't talk about the Gators. We didn't talk about Miami. So we talked about Florida State. That's how we did all day long. So that's what I want to do, Florida State. But yeah, for Jay, I can't. Of course, I get on. I joke with him, but Tebow's a stand-up guy. Other years they beat Florida State, I could do but shake my head. But I definitely, if he would like to I would kick him out the house. He'd probably be homeless right now. He could not come to my house with that U stuff on. I can deal with Florida a little bit, but the U, I hated the U. I completely hate the U. My uncle's a U fan. Every time Miami and Florida State plays, he makes sure he calls me. I'll call him. We get it in. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Do you even like Miami?
Who?
JV.
Oh, he said used to.
Used to.
Because
they had to switch teams.
You lucky. Hold on.
Oh man,
you lucky. I don't have my Florida. I don't have my Miami T-shirt on. But
oh man, boy. Well, maybe put my shirt on, boy. Don't make me put my shirt on, but I can do it right now.
You lucky. I don't have it on standby. Well, I got Miami, and I got.
Boy, look at that. That boy's always on deck, baby. Always on deck. Come on, Jay. True fans.
I just like Miami Heat.
Always have two fans waiting, baby. Come on now.
Yeah. But Miami Heat is fine. He didn't kick me out for the Heat.
I used to be Miami Heat fan too.
Yeah. Well, you just a LeBron fan.
Yeah, you're a LeBron fan.
Oh Lord, I'm about to get on him. Oh Lord, now come on,
Jay. You used to like Miami too when we had LeBron.
I like D Wade, but I'm gonna ask Jay this because this is probably a topic y'all spoke about thousands of times. I'm gonna ask Jay even this. So, who's the best athlete of Michael Jordan, LeBron James?
I already knew that was coming up.
What does that say?
Oh, this is here.
LeBron James.
Wow.
I know he delusional.
I keep it on me at all times. It runs through my blood.
David, I understand, but look, I'm gonna ask you this
I
question.
agree.
Answer this truthfully. I say it's game 7. You got LeBron and Mike on the same team. I ask this to everybody on this debate. You're the head coach. You draw up a play. You about to win a title. Who do you draw up to play for and why?
Well,
Uh-oh. You thinking? Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say Braun, but
Uh-oh.
but hey,
Why?
but you wanna know my answer though? Like I ain't passing the ball. Give me the ball. I'll take the shot. That way I ain't got to decide. Give me the ball. I'm gonna shoot it. That way I ain't got to debate no more.
Think about it as a coach. If you want to win a title, who would you give the ball to? You thinking of as if because you like LeBron. Think as a coach. You better get paid. You better get a ring. You're the captain of your team. So you mean to tell me at the end of the day, you'll drop a play, LeBron, here you go.
Only one of those choices that never lost in that moment either.
Ooh, hold on, let him think about it.
Wait. So you act like Jordan never missed a game winner?
He never lost the finals. He never lost the chance to get a ring.
Never.
Because he had the best teams in those. He had the best teams. Nobody was beating them.
Oh, I ain't saying team. I'm talking about 2 people now. We're talking
Just
Michael
individual.
LeBron. Individually. You can do stats on there. The stats will tell you the truth. The stats will kick your ass. Look at the stats.
Well, it does say LeBron has the most game winners, or at least
Titles.
yes.
Titles. Rings. Not games.
You said game winner. You said game winners.
But for game 7, to win it all, to get a ring.
Yeah, to get a ring.
Yeah, Bron or Jordan, who's taking the shot?
Give me Braun, man. I don't give a fuck. Give me Braun.
Woo!
I
love it, come on, man.
I ain't finna let y'all have me picking sides over here.
Yeah, I'm
Got put on the
talking.
spot.
I'm being realist. You know.
Got put on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Well, I know who ain't getting a ring this year.
But look, but it's funny that you said that. I've asked hundreds of people that question, and even though a lot of people can't stand Mike, but at the end of the day, they'll say, you know what?
Yeah,
If
I ain't gonna
win a ring,
I ain't gonna let y'all have me picking sides over here when I buy his shoes every year.
but that's another thing that came up too with the shoes. But a lot of guys said, "Fudge, you're right, man. I got to pick Mike to win the game." But at the end of the day, I'm going LeBron. But they know when you need somebody to kill you, you gotta go with Mike. Mike gonna kill you every time. He gonna kill you. But Jordan played 14 years. LeBron played what? Is this 20, 24, 20, 21, 22?
23rd.
23 this year.
23. So now he overpasses Jordan because he's played more. What if Jordan would have played 23 years, the same exact time as LeBron? Think of all the, he's getting older. I can't say the more MVP.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
You never know.
He went to go play baseball.
Right. You never know. And he came back and still dominated. He retired and still came back and dominated. So, it's just so much stuff that he's done that made him look more impressive than LeBron's numbers. His accolades speak for itself. But it's funny you kept LeBron, but since we're on that thing, one guy I was following on TikTok, it was funny. He said, I'm gonna kill this whole LeBron and MJ debate. He said, I was in a room full of dignitaries, sports dignitaries, ESPN, people all over the country that came to this sports meeting. He said, I was looking around, he had these tuxedos. He said, I started to look around. I said, you know what? I'm looking at, he's checking out these shoes. He said, over about maybe 200, 300 people, he noticed, wow, 90% of the people in that room had on J's.
What's this got to do with the court?
Exactly. I got more LeBron.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, I know people not shooting, getting shot over LeBron's, but
you can't sell the shoe.
I mean, come on now.
Unless what you did on the court. What you did on the court sells the shoes.
So what was the
You're
last
talking
shoe
about
you had
here.
on? The Jays or LeBrons? Which one you had on last?
Some work shoes. I was at work.
You can't even answer.
The Jays. Yeah, but it's a good debate, man. It's a good debate. I always bring it up and have we be in there laughing and arguing all night long. But I grew up with MJ. I see what he can do compared to LeBron. I always go, if you would put MJ's
Yeah,
skill level in LeBron's body in 6'8", 250, now we got hell. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Ooh, put MJ's talent into LeBron's body. We have nothing to talk about. But him being 6'8", 250, he whines. When Jay was growing up around me, I watched LeBron play, all the flopping carrying on. I don't get down like that. I'm hard nosed, dude. I just don't do that.
to the
Back in
Flacco. You ever seen Marcus
I
Smart play? You ever seen?
Yeah, everybody flops.
Yeah, like
mean, Jordan,
See,
Jordan,
I think that gives you even more fuel to say Jordan's better because he played in that physical era and was still putting in work.
but I can understand I can understand an OG saying Jordan is the best because he watched Jordan. But somebody my age who never saw Jordan play and like, come on now.
It's
go,
different
go,
eras
go,
too.
go, go
I
watch
don't think the bad
YouTube.
boys.
James, go watch YouTube of Jordan for 6 hours. Trust me, you'll change your mind real quick.
I don't think the bad boys would have done anything with LeBron.
No, but anybody can go on YouTube and watch highlights. I'm talking about turning on the TV
I
and
know.
watching the game live.
Oh yeah, you're right.
As me seeing LeBron, him making me think that I can make the league still, that I can play basketball. So I'm 40.
Right.
Hmm.
You got a point, but I've seen both eras. So, like you said, you haven't seen Jordan era. I did. I've seen LeBron. I've seen both eras together. You know, uh, you even have former players. They are still bickering right now about the MJ and LeBron debate. You got old school guys. You got the guys from the 60s, 70s sitting there shaking their head and going, "This ain't a debate." You got the best guys in the NBA talking about who the GOAT is today. So if they don't tell you who the best is, I don't know what does. My opinion don't matter. We're just here on a podcast. But the greatest who actually played the game saw both eras. From the Magic Johnsons on to the Dr. J's, you know, until the Iversons. You got to the Shaq. Heck,
The
you got Shaq,
Kobe's.
the Kobe's. Heck, Kobe followed his game after him. Kobe didn't follow his game after LeBron. Heck, when Shaq got in the league, Shaq said, I was scared of that man. This man was 7 foot, 302 pounds. He was scared of Jordan. He didn't say I was scared of LeBron. I mean, the wisdom of other players will tell you how great he was. They ain't not gonna sit in a podcast and lie about. Now they not gonna just down LeBron. They said LeBron's good, but he ain't no Mike. He said Mike was something different. Larry,
It's by
look
eras too.
about eras, but they know they've been in both eras. Some have, but they know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
because
like
think that era would
I'll
happen.
ask
like
you this:
I
because
was
what is Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer? What are they doing with LeBron 6'8", 250?
They jumping on his back.
like
LeBron crying. LeBron flopping.
they don't listen. They can't. They're not gonna guard him. They're not gonna guard Giannis. They're not gonna guard Joker. They're not gonna guard KD.
But that's where the eras come into play because
Right.
Jordan played in
Yeah,
a
they're
completely
not gonna
different
guard
era
Steph.
in his prime.
No, but also think if you plugged and put Michael into this era, in an era where you can't touch him and he gets a clean shot off every time, how many
Oh
points does
yeah,
he
no,
drop in a game?
yeah. There's
I don't know
no
about.
hand checking in this era.
I
Yeah,
don't know
like,
about can't touch. I don't know if you saw the. I don't know if you didn't see the finals, but that finals was physical as hell.
I mean,
That's
it
the
still
thing.
ain't physical as it used to be, though.
No. That's where I'm sitting there. That's where my mind is going to. If that physicality was in today's era of the NBA,
Mm.
how would Steph would he be able to put up his numbers threes, as you say? You can't touch him. Like we're going back to the Jordan era. He was getting beat up and putting up 40 a game versus now. So
See,
put LeBron back in that era. Maybe he could have been used to it and he was 6'8", 250. Who knows? We'll never know if he was able to withstand that beating. But from what
It's
I
like
see LeBron now, he whines too much. I don't see that competitive fire in him at times that I need to. Physical. I used to sit there and look at Jay and said, God, LeBron needs to play physical. LeBron should be averaging 60 points a game easily. Right
easily.
now. Easy. Easy. That's the GOAT debate is, can he drop 60? Of course, he passes the ball. He's an assist. Now, that's one thing I will say he's better than Michael with. He gives the ball up better. He gets his teammate in the game more. Michael was a dog. That's what he want to do is kill you. I will say LeBron had better teammanship than Michael did at the time, but Mike just wanted to win. But I just can't see LeBron being 6'8", 250, just not really just dominating the game like he should be. That's just me. Dude,
He's got 40,000 points.
I mean, he should be hitting 60 every game, no doubt. Giannis, same thing. And we talking about these other guys that are coming up. That's athletic, easy. So I mean, like I said, it's a debate. It's fun to talk about. But at the end of the day, I put on a pair of LeBrons before, and I got gout wearing LeBron. That should tell you something. I put on the J's. I put on J's. My feet was fresh all day, brother. That's just what it is. And you know what I'm saying? You just said you worked your last pair of shoes you wore today was the J's. You worked in the J's. You work in the J's because it's comfortable on your feet.
Yeah, he didn't want to say it. He didn't want to admit it.
J's are comfortable on your feet, bro. That's why you put the J's on. They're comfortable.
Oh no, wait, that's crazy. I don't know.
He didn't want to admit it.
I promise I didn't.
Uh,
I promise I didn't. I was some work shoes.
Yeah, your face said it all. We know what your face. You just gonna say it. It's all good though.
but no, I just wish we can appreciate them as for who they are, rather than putting one guy down just to bring another guy up. That's what Alex does. He likes to put down LeBron to bring up Jordan. That pisses me off. And I don't know why he
but
does
it's vice versa though. It's vice versa. Every
that.
time again,
No, I
this
don't.
y'all
I don't like to put down Jordan. I don't say anything negative about Jordan.
we'll have
Do
this
I?
debate soon. We'll have this debate soon. Y'all hear
Do
it.
I?
Y'all will hear it. Y'all hear it.
Let
It's not as entertaining.
Let's just appreciate.
If you respect
appreciate.
both, it's not as entertaining for the show.
right.
Yeah, it's the toxicity that people love,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and we need
Yeah.
less toxicity in this world.
Yeah, Jordan got out of there right before LeBron got in.
Mm-hmm.
He retired the year before LeBron got drafted. It's crazy. But yeah, before we get into we had some listener submitted questions. I have one last question for you. Talking about this upcoming college football season. JV's got the shirt on. You see the jersey in the back. We talked about the transfer portal and the NIL. So ETSU, we got Tennessee this season. First game is Murray State. We got Coach Will Hilley brought in some transfers. Jacoby Criswell from North Carolina and Cade McNamara from Michigan. So what is ETSU doing this season? Got some alumni in here.
Well, I had the opportunity to go when Will Healy got the job. Had the opportunity to get him and some of the coaches, to the cigar lounge and talk with them. All coaches sound very, you know, passionate about what they do, what they're gonna do for the team this season. Um, I always support ETSU, so I always go around the players. I watch practices when I can. And this year I was around a few, scrimmages, and thumbs up, looked very well. But like I said before, at the end of the day, you got to put the product on the field. So everybody looks good. Like coaches tell us, everybody can, look good at practice. Can you do it when the lights turn on? So, I pray that it's a success for ETSU this season. When the lights come on, they can ball out. They got Tennessee coming up. I hope they can compete with them. Be a blessing if they win and get that check for, $500,000 to bring back to Johnson City. That'll be wonderful for this community. But
ETSU money line in Knoxville. Book it.
ooh,
Mm.
Mm.
You can donate your money to Vegas. I'm all right.
Oh yeah. No, son, I'm not a bet man, but I will
Neither.
bet this. I bet we'll get paid after the game, though. I will bet that. I bet we have a check
Well,
going back to Johnson City, no matter what the score is. So
Oh
see,
yeah, I bet a lot on that.
that's a blessing of this game here. No matter what goes, we'll receive a blessing coming back our way. So
Mhm.
that's the way I
or
look at it.
ETSU for the upset.
I'm with you.
That will be huge.
If it happens, come back to this episode right here and play and book it. Right?
Come
I'm
back
here.
to this.
More to
I'll
find me.
timestamp
Please,
it.
a blessing. Like I said, I'm not a gambling man, but hey, if they do it, hey, I'm right there with them. As a matter of fact, I told somebody at my school if ETSU beats UT, you might find Dad in the papers. Just put it that way.
Shut the city down.
Have to shut it down, baby.
Yep.
That's what it is. Hey,
Shut it down.
I support my university. Not doing to be negative, but that's just what it is. Support my
Mhm.
school. I've been in great moments at the school. Played some big time people that I believe ETSU needs to be on the map more. We had Marshall coming in here. We had Randy Moss. I was graciously playing. I showed my son some highlight. There was a highlight. I'm hitting Randy Moss. In the mini dome, knocking him out. You know what I'm saying? He played right here in Johnson City. You know, Miami, Mississippi State, ETSU was played Auburn. The Grantland Rice Bowl back in the I think it was the 60s, 70s. So this program has had its highlights. I think we need to be recognized more, but it'll be a blessing if they can go down to Knox Vegas and give them that business, shut all that orange down. And then if they do that, like Javen says, I'm gonna have to go down there and go turn into the Hulk since we're talking about DC characters and get that gold post and throw it in the river. I'll do that myself. That's what I'll do. Your dad'd be right on the field getting that goal post, Hulk smash right in the river. Oh yeah, all day,
Bruce Banner.
all day. No,
Was it?
we'll call me Black Banner. That's what we do that.
Black Banner.
Black Banner.
Keep going in hard with it. Keep what it is.
But before we get off the subject of college football, I guess going into this season, who are your top few players that you're excited to see?
Ooh, I mean, I don't. With my business going, and I'm always at work on the weekends. Man, I don't get a chance to really hone in on what's going on. I'm just a big Florida State guy. I just like watching the game for athleticism because what I do with my athlete, I train, so I like watching. No matter what I'm watching, I like watching the athletes catch and cut, jump because that's what I orchestrate every day at my gym. So I really couldn't tell you who I'm excited to look for. I'm just excited that the season is here and I can, be able to come home and watch these guys perform. I just like I said before, I hated to have to go through all this political stuff to compete for their families on Saturday. You know, the love of football is kind of getting out of there. It's getting too much towards the political and the boosters and all this higher power ram. They forget, these kids are pouring their hearts out at practice in the 100-degree temperatures. They giving their all to perform for their fans and families and their loved ones and all these dignitaries around them. You know what I'm saying? So I hope we can get back to that, but I doubt it. Hope we can get back to putting the praise on the guys, the work they put in, when nobody sees them. Because I was that guy that did that. I was the guy that was out. We had 3 practices a day, in 90-degree weather, preparing for to make the community happy for us. So it's just, that's what the podcast is for. I sometimes watch the sports commentators how they down certain athletes. Man, you know what this man been through, man. In the families, going through. He missed a catch or he missed a field goal. You know what I'm saying? You own him the whole week, man. And so it's tough. It's tough being an athlete. So I'm just excited to see football is back.
And last thing before we get to the listener questions, Alex, name off some of the good week one matchups. So, and I know you said you're not a betting man, not a gambling man, but name off some of the big week one matchups. I want your picks.
We got Tennessee and Syracuse. Got to take the Vols in it. I got to. South Carolina, Virginia Tech. I think you rock out with Lenoris. That's just me though. I'm gonna have to rock out with Auburn as well, and then Notre Dame and Miami. Uh, I don't think Carson Beck's the answer. I just don't. I'm gonna have to go with Notre Dame. And then Clemson, LSU.
Mm.
That's the game. That's two crazy fan bases going at it, but I think Clemson walks away with it.
No, there's a bigger game than that.
Oh yeah, Texas. I got the schedule here. Texas.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one right there.
Yeah.
I think I still told y'all. I think Arch for his first true game, going into that environment after a natty. I don't. If he does it, give him the natty now. But I don't think he does. I think Ohio State comes out on top.
Yeah, what's your picks for those 5 games right there? What you got?
All right, Jay. Here's what I'm gonna do: is say each game one at a time. Go first. Say one game at a time. I'll tell you my picks.
All right, Alex, you can list them off.
Let's go Tennessee, Syracuse.
Should have to go Vols. Hate to say it, Tennessee.
That's a clip. I'm gonna have to clip that.
What about Texas,
Got him.
Ohio State?
You know, I don't know what the heck is a Buckeye tree is, but gotta go with them Buckeyes on that one.
Let's go Bama, Florida State. We'll pick it again.
Oh man. I guess I have to go with Bama because the continuity they had opportunity they got a new coach, I think it's last year. He's been there 2 years.
Kalen
And
DeBoer.
in the board, this is the second year, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, so he's got continuity for 2 years. So that's a big thing when it comes to football. So he got 2 years a system. Coach Norvell has, Gus Malzahn, new OC, new DC, new players. Do we know that these months they came together and coheve enough? I don't know if enough time to prepare for Alabama. If Alabama was toward the end of the season, I may shift it, but I'll say I think it'd be closer to what they say. So I'll say Alabama by 3.
That's solid. I can see it. I can see it. What you got on the LSU Clemson?
Oh man, me being an ACC guy, I have to go probably Dabo. Um, I'd probably go Dabo on that one because
Good
Florida
pick.
State beat LSU 2 years ago, so LSU can be beat the first game. So I go Clemson, and plus I like Dabo because we talk about the NAI deal. He doesn't really do a part of that uh, interchanging with athletes. He's all about stability in his program, which I didn't know because I have a former client that I trained that actually knows Dabo, and Dabo kind of put it out in the airwaves. He doesn't like dipping and dabbling in the portal because it goes back and the transition of his players doesn't go in the locker room. So he likes to keep what he has and develops. So he's the one that keeps developing his players each year to win. So shout out to Dabo for that. But I go with Clemson for that one.
I got Miami, Notre Dame.
I can't stand the U. I ain't gonna talk about them U. I'm gonna go Notre Dame all the way.
And then lastly, South Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Ooh, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, the Hokies and the Gamecocks. I don't think Hokies had a well the past 3 or 4 seasons had been pretty tough. So I had to go with I guess the dad Beamer ball was invented in Blacksburg. So now I have to go to the little Beamer ball in Columbia. So I'll take South Carolina
Good
to win
pick.
that game.
Good pick. Beamer ball
Yes, sir.
2.0. But yeah, that's all of our questions. So now to end it off, we can get into the listener questions to end the episode. So JV, I'll let you go ahead and start and say who it's from as well.
All right, all right. One question from Simon Wheeler. Do you ever go Do you ever go down the rabbit hole, or what could have been if you didn't go get injured during training camp?
So this from Simon Wheeler.
Yep.
So he's asking me, what if I didn't get hurt? What would my future have been if I didn't get hurt? Basically.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question, Simon. Because I was doing very well in preseason camp. Um, who would have known? My whole vision of the NFL, I want to get 4 years in me and retire because, with all the concussion stuff going on, I think I would have played 4 years. That was just my mentality at the time. So, unfortunately, I got hit with an injury. But my goal was at the time at least play 4 to 5 years in the league. So, I believe that injury stopped me. Hadn't that been for that injury, I think I did 4 or 5 years easily.
There was a second part to that question. He said, "Why are the Knowles so terrible?"
Matter of fact, you tell Simon Wheeler to sit and say it in my face, and I'll tell him why we do terrible. The next question, please.
All right. This one was from Terry Robbins. So, what drives you to do your best at your job, and what was tough leaving your business to transition for helping another?
What drives me is two questions. What drives me is the success of kids. What drives me is I was that kid that wanted big things in life. And I hate when people tell me I can't do something. I hate the word can't. So me and my wife were teachers in the school system at Science Hill. I love building platforms for athletes and giving them that confidence, saying, you know what, being around this guy Fudge gives me the opportunity to go to the next level. Not matter that when I mean next level, it could be graduating college, not necessarily mean athletics. I give them the platform to excel at the next level. And I gave y'all some numbers in my business. We've been blessed to put 400 plus athletes in college. What drives me is the next athlete, the next male, the next female. Have an opportunity to work with upcoming interns and coaches and trainers at ETSU, give them the opportunity to be the next trainers of the future, next coaches. Um, that's what motivates me. Leaving Fudge Fitness was to create a bigger platform from where I was at Fudge Fitness. So now my growth is to encompass more of what I could do at Fudge Fitness. You know what I'm saying? I want to get more kids that are like-minded like me so I can grow them to the next level as well. So my goal is to, everybody has a goal or a number. If I can get 1,000 kids in the college, that's my number before the Lord tells me, Fudge, you're done. You have done your duties on earth. Go rest and go fishing. So that's what drives me is putting a kid that has come to me and said, Fudge, this coach told me I was too fat. This coach told me I was too slow. Or mom and dad said, what? You want to go play where? Those are the kids that drives me to be who I am today.
Another follow-up question: do you plan on owning your own business again?
Ooh, man, that's a tough question. Let's just say this. I've been blessed to deal with a lot of parents, and let's just say this: they want Fudge back on the building, but I tell them it's not about me no more. It's about the kids that's in the building now. Fudge's spirit is in that building. So, would I like my name back? Of course, absolutely. But my focal point now is make sure the kids that I have in there or that I'm teaching the correct ways of being a successful athlete. Let me take that back. A successful student athlete. That's my job. The Fudge back in the building. Hopefully, I pray down in the future that can happen again. But yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, Alex, I'll let you go ahead.
First question is from Gary Huston. What was your best game? Do you remember it?
Oh man. Whew. Um, Wow. Wow. Um, I would say this. Make sure because as athletes, we all make mistakes in college, and I will. I remember. I think actually my roommate Tarek remembers this. Uh, let's just say I had too much of a beverage one night, enjoyed myself, and I remember we were playing Western Carolina. I'm not sitting here. I'm not perfect, and I was worried about me having a successful game going into Cullowhee. The way I train my athletes, we teach about our mentalities. We take our mentality to the sport, physical, spiritual mentality. So I had to kind of get myself together to play this game. And I remember now I see where training comes in that helped me with this game. I think I had 19 tackles that game. I think I broke a game record, not a record, but I broke one of the tackling records for ETSU at that game. I think it was 19 or 20 or something like that. I know my roommate Terry, I think he had 20 tackles in one game. So that was one game vividly I can remember. Of course, the Miami game, which I tell everybody that game. Of course, I had a great career at ETSU, but it being one double A for my skill set, they were saying, well, how come if he was that good, how come he didn't get recruited to the SEC, whatever, yada yada yada. But I actually had the opportunity to play the U, and I faced Edgerrin James. At that year, Edgerrin James went number one in the draft, and me and him went toe to toe and had I think I had 10 tackles and one sack that game. And it was a very special moment for me because I'm playing back in my home state of Florida. So a lot of my family and friends from Florida came down to Miami. They turned up, and here I'm playing against the U, the school I hated, and was balling out. A lot of my teammates were going nuts because wow, you playing in the Orange Bowl. Growing up as a kid, you watch the games on TV in the Orange Bowl. Here we are in 1999, we're playing against Miami. I'm going off. Of course, y'all could never play with me, but I'm acting different. I'm an animal when I come in that field. I'm like, look, this is the you. You got Adrian James staring me down. I'm staring him down. Let's go. He got the dreads. He got the gold teeth. You got this guy named Fudge over here representing his city of Panama City, Florida, against Miami, and I had a breakout game. I tell people, I say it's my best games. Also, one of the games that challenged me the most because Adrian James, he hit me so hard he dislocated my shoulder. So during my course of my college career, I had no problem hitting running backs, but EG, yeah, he brought that wood to me one time, and there's footage of it of me tearing actually dislocating my shoulder. I think the third quarter, and I got back and I told them that the trainers put me back in that game. I got to go back and finish this Miami game. There's no way he's going to break me down and I come back. So they popped my shoulder back in place, and I go back and finish the Miami game. So that game was probably a good game for me because I led the team in tackles, and I got a sack on Scott Covington, and they had an opportunity to run down. I think his name was James White. That's really put me on the spotlight for the NFL because James White at the time he was a 4-2 guy, and there's a highlight of me chase him down from the back and catch him before he scores. He basically outruns our whole defense. I catch him and knock him out of bounds. And I thought at that time both my hamstrings had popped out of place because I could move too. I told I'm a Florida boy. I could run too. So that's probably my biggest games are probably Western Carolina and Miami game. But there were several games I was blessed to be in. You know, being in the record books, being around good players and coaches at the time. So I mean, it was so many games, but those two I can remember the most: Western Carolina and Miami game.
The tape was out there. He could move for a big boy. He can move. I was like, you should have been watching The Flash instead of Superman.
Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the tape is out there.
it's
Tape
out
is
there
out there.
now. It's out there. People didn't believe me. So with my son, there's a guy. Shout out to if he sees this podcast. I told him about Jay Tyler Grizzle, I believe his name is. He's the ETSU media team. He's the one that connected with me, and I did an interview with ETSU, and he saw the highlights, and he said, "Man, I like to put a highlight tape of you," and he did that. I think 7 minutes and 38 seconds worth, and my son had the opportunity to see the highlights, and yeah, he kind of he put together what he could. It was a nice little tape, so I was most appreciative of him. So shout out to my man. Go Bucks. Thank you again for doing that for me.
My last question is from Will Shonston. Who was your favorite opponent in college?
Oh man, favorite opponent in college. It'd have to probably been App State. App State was our over the mountain rivalry. Back in those days, they had probably about 10 guys back in the early 90s get drafted. One guy, you talk about the Cowboys, you can look him up. His name was Dexter Coakley. He was a small linebacker that played at App. He played middle linebacker at Cowboys. And me and him was going toe to toe for the most tackles in 1996. And I remember a reporter from John C. Press came and reported that, I think, man, we was a ton of tackles. He had 15, 16, 17 tackles. Fudge had 16, 7. We were balling. He'll go out and get 3 or 4. I go get 3 or 4. So I don't know. I know we beat App 2 or 3 times when I was playing. So, but yeah, that's probably one of my most memorable games was App, and I take that back. And another one was we played Marshall. We played Randy Moss. Why did I forget that in the mini dome? That was for the Southern Conference Championship game. Randy Moss came to Johnson City. They had an opportunity to play against him. Had an opportunity to play against Terrell Owens too, as well. A lot of people don't know. Here's for y'all when y'all talking about football. This is something y'all betting guys. When you ask somebody, they'll get this wrong. Name the 2 top receivers that played in the NFL, not in the SEC. Top 2 receivers, not SEC. Y'all throw people out because they think all the great wide receivers came from the SEC. You got Terrell Owens, and they played for the Southern Conference. Remember, Southern Conference. Terrell Owens. I played against him in 1995, my freshman. He was a dog. He was a beast. And of course, Randy Moss played at Marshall, which at the time, he went from Notre Dame to Florida State to Marshall. He trained at that time. He just was going around different schools, but the 2 top receivers that played in SoCon, Randy Moss and Terrell Owens. I had the opportunity to play against both of them. So SoCon is tough, man. It's a tough league.
Was that it for you?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
those are my.
Gotcha. All right. My last two coming up from Taylor Dixon, TD.
Oh Lord.
Taylor Thompson, actually. But was it a hard switch to go from playing to training athletes?
Actually, no, because I had that love for the game. The thing with me with training athletes is, okay, I can't play football no more, but I can possess what I've learned from me from training myself to now give to the next generation. So to me, I'm playing through another athlete. When I have the opportunity to train even y'all guys, I'm living my life through y'all now. But I'm showing you how to be excellent every day when I'm training an athlete. I'm taking a part of myself and putting it in this athlete. So in ways I'm still playing. I just can't do it physically. I'm doing it mentally through another athlete. So I think that's why I'm blessed to have such success training because I know it works. I've got the model. You know what I'm saying? I possess the skill to do it, so I can put that skill, the effort, the spirituality in another athlete, so they can be good or be elite, as I say.
And last question of the day is from George Hathaway. He's put me on the spot right here. This is his favorite memory of Jay growing up. Why would you do me like that?
Favorite memory of Jay? Ooh, God.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can answer that. George put you on the spot.
No, actually, I tell you what, a favorite memory. George, there's so many memories of Jay, but this is one of the proudest when I knew Jay was more competitive in the brain world. He wasn't blessed with dad's athleticism, so I was most proud of him. I think you were in. You can help me out. You were in middle school, and you was even getting the poly ticket on as well. You remember the competition, the spelling competition.
Yeah.
They didn't tell you about. So Jay was winning all the spelling beats, whatever. So he in class, I think 7th grade, 8th grade,
I
and
think it was seventh.
7th grade, and they didn't call him to I guess warm up for the spelling bee competition. And I think you had a test or something. So somebody said, "Hey, Jay Fudge supposed to be in the competition. Somebody go get him." They go get Boogie at the classroom. You know what I'm saying? Most people gotta warm up, like singing, they gotta warm up. Jay Bud goes in the competition, grabs the microphone, spell bye, 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 and wins it. Walks back out, go to class. Like what? You try to make me late for my own competition and still take that L. You know what I'm saying? So that was my most, I ain't gonna say my most memorable, but that was the one I know he's competitive in a different, he's competitive with his education, and that's what I loved about him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all didn't tell me how to spelling bee? Oh, don't worry about it. I'm 15 minutes late. Oh, I'm coming through. Watch this real quick. Give him the mic. Give me 4 or 5 words. Nailed it. Boom. Ghost. I'm gone. Back to class. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I mean, there's so many, man. You grow up with children these days. You
That's
got
my
so many.
superpower right there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All day. Didn't have. In matter of fact, he'd have to study. Drove his mom crazy. He looked at a bunch. He looked at 1,000 words. Here's Jay. He'll throw the paper at Mom. I'm done. And go
No warning.
smash it the next day. You know what I'm saying? So
I
that's
had
what.
no warning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in the middle of taking a science test. There's no warning. And they announced it over the intercom. It's
Yeah.
like, where is Jalen Fudge at? He needs to be in the spelling bee right now. I was like, what you mean?
You won
But
2 of them though, didn't you?
yeah, I won at Woodland too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were probably there for that one. And
Yeah.
the other one was at Liberty Bell. And I thought it was cool because like the whole hall, you know how our school had halls. After I won the spelling bee, they dedicated a day to where everybody got free pizza. We got to watch the bee movie, no class. I was like, that's cool with me. Cool with me. But yeah, I always remember that one. But yeah, I think that was it. And thank you again, Dad, for coming on. I know you're not big into media stuff like that, but how was your experience on the Burner Syndicate very first appearance?
I tell you what, you just said I'm not big in media stuff, but for y'all, I'll do it again.
There we go. There we
There
go.
we
Do it
go.
again for
That's what I
y'all.
like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I'll do it again for y'all. Y'all ever need me, you know where to find me. But once again, before I get off here, I gotta go to school in the morning. I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep grinding, keep praying, and just remember, ain't no Cain in the system. Ain't no Cain. Get it. Get it. Like my roommate Jay's uncle used to say, he used to tell me all the time. He still, even though I'm the older brother, he still motivates me every day. You know, he used to say, Fudge, if you don't get it, somebody will. Very simple. If you don't get it, somebody will.
So good way to end it right there. Alex, JV, y'all got any final thoughts?
Doing good. Got a great guest, great episode. I hope you all enjoy.
Mhm.
All right.
Actually, I want to go back to that question. He said, "Who I give the ball? Who I give the ball to? I'm giving the ball to Kobe. It's
Oh,
Mamba
Lord.
Day. It's 8/24. His birthday was yesterday. R.I.P. Kobe.
That's the easy way out. He
That's
took the
the
easy way out.
but yeah, I
Easy
get happy. Yeah, I get the ball to Kobe too over LeBron. Yeah, I get the ball to Kobe too.
and Jordan too. Yeah. And Jordan too. Yeah.
Rest in peace, Kobe. But before I go, for all my the people that's listening, I'm at Fudge Fitness at Instagram. Check us out. D1 Tri Cities, Tennessee, Johnson City. Any athletes in the Southwest Virginia area, Western Carolina, East Tennessee, come see me. Phone number here in Johnson City, 423-741-1115. Holla at your boy Fud, 33 Team 33. Can't wait to have you. And guys, I love y'all to death. Y'all keep doing big things. I'm Burner Syndicate. Love you to death.
Appreciate it. That's the end of this one. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Burner Syndicate. You know the drill. Thanks for keeping it real. We'll be back next week with 3 guests who have already made appearances on Burner Talk to discuss the drama impending with the NFL this season. So we got Will Shinstein, Gary Huddleston, Zach Anthony. 2 of them actually sent in the listener questions, if you notice. But that should be a fun one. Be on the lookout for it. Thank you again. to my dad for joining this one. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, JV. As always, this was your host, Jay Fudge, and you just listened to the Burner Syndicate, and we're out of here. Peace.
Peace.